What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Like and subscribe to make sure we know we're doing a good job. Moving on for the video. You clicked on this video because I'm going to take you through Ironman Memphis 70.3. I'm going to tell you guys about my experience. I'm going to tell you guys about the sightseeing I did. And I'm going to tell you guys about my race experience. If you guys are interested in doing Ironman Memphis 70.3 and if you guys are into charity work, I highly recommend you try what I did. I signed up as a St. Jude hero. Because of you guys and the 3,000 subscribers we have on this channel to date, we were able to raise over $3,000 for their St. Jude Cancer Research fundraiser. Give yourself a pat on the back. Pretty big ordeal. So it finally happened, and I was super stoked, super pumped with the results that I got, but more on that later. I want to take you guys through the trip. It all started with me leaving Honolulu, Hawaii, flying out to California, where I was able to spend the night with my grandparents in Los Angeles, California, and then early the next morning we took a flight out of LAX and headed over to Memphis International Airport. We arrived in Memphis, and I was happy to see that at baggage claim that the airport was expecting us athletes and gave us a nice little welcome sign. We had good vibes starting off at the beginning, and then I went out to go look for the rental car and to see what the weather felt like. And boy, it was actually kind of cold compared to Hawaii weather. Perfect for racing conditions. It's a beautiful day here in Memphis. It's 70 degrees, like no humidity, but it's a little cold actually, in my opinion. Coming from Hawaii, right? And as the saying goes, when in Rome, or in our case, when in Memphis, we decided to check out some of the festivities that were close by to our hotel. We went to the most happening barbecue spot called Central Barbecue. I would highly recommend you guys check this place out. This was a very heavy, dense protein and barbecue sauced meal. Perfect for athletes, right? Especially when you were 2 days out. I didn't want to feel disgusting the night before the race, so I figured I might as well go all out, eating whatever I wanted 2 nights out before the race. And it panned out. We were in kind of late, so that was all we got to do the first night we were there. The second day we were there was the day we checked in for the race. Alright, so we made it to the race pickup, or packet pickup. Memphis is just a couple miles outside, so let's go get our packet. Meet some people here. The whole race venue was spectacular. The Ironman Village was great. Directions to where to go, on where to check in, where to register, where to drop your bike off. Perfectly laid out, perfectly clear. And the bonus for me was, as a St. Jude hero, I had my own private tent with all the other St. Jude hero athletes. Out of all 1,900 athletes that competed, there were only 59 St. Jude heroes there, and I got to be one of them. So after we got all amped up, on our way back we stopped at Graceland to go check out Elvis's home back in the 50s. And fun fact for you guys, back when Elvis purchased this house in the 1950s, he only spent $102,500 for that mansion that he lives in. That is ridiculous. For today's inflation, that equates to a little over $1 million. Well done, Elvis, on a very, very financially responsible purchase and investment. After Elvis's house, we actually went to go see the hub of St. Jude Hospital. Very, very impressive for only having 77 beds for the cancer children. If you guys want to donate or are interested in helping support St. Jude, I'll have a link to their website in the description down below. And after we saw the St. Jude Hospital, we went over, took a look at the mighty Mississippi. So we're enjoying the sunset here, watching it set on the mighty Mississippi River. Stretches on for miles. And that was it. It was a very laid back, easygoing day. We got back to the hotel room and we had lights out very early that night. And then the fun began. Morning. It is 5:30 in the morning and we are getting ready to head out to go race Ironman Memphis. This is what it's all been about for the past few months. Alright, we'll see you out there. After we parked, we did have to walk about a mile, but I kind of saw that as just a warm-up. And I'm kind of glad we did walk. The temperature of that morning was in the lower 50s. It was cold, man. It was colder than the lake water, which was roaming around 72 degrees Fahrenheit. As you can see from some of these pictures, I kept this sweater on until I was about 2 minutes away from the start line. But something really cool that happened before I got into the water, the race director himself saw me in my St. Jude Hero tri-kit and came over and actually talked to me before I started the race. The race director was really cool. He actually came over and acknowledged I was a St. Jude hero. He just amped me up just a little more. The cold temperature didn't matter anymore. I was pumped. I was ready to go. And then before you know it, I was in the water. And boy, this swim, I really underperformed on this swim. I was estimating to maybe do this 1.25 mile swim in about 30 to 33 minute range. and I came out in 36 minutes. But I have an excuse, if you guys will accept that from me. For a rolling start, I really feel like I didn't have much space going out there. So the first 500 yards was a little bit of a scramble, but once we got going, the water temperature was very nice. However, though, it was very murky. So if any of you guys do pacing on the swim, it's very unlikely you're going to be able to see what your pace is when you swim. And I didn't want to take the time to actually rotate over and look in the air and look at my watch. I just felt like I didn't have time for that. I had places to be. And that was only the first part of the shenanigans. We went about 1,500 yards out in one direction with the sunrise in our back, and when we turned around for the last 500 yards of this swim, it was blinding. It was like the second coming of Jesus. I couldn't see a thing. I couldn't even see the buoys. It was ridiculous. That was probably the slowest 500 yards I've ever swam. All I was doing was looking for splashing, and when I saw splashing, I swam to it. I was under the impression those people knew where they were going. It makes for good memories when you talk about races like that, and 36 minutes wasn't all that far off from what I was expecting. And when I got out of the water, I saw the whole crowd cheering for everybody. It helped put positivity back in my mind. I was like, all right, what's done is done. Let's just go grind on the bike here. One thing for anybody that's interested in signing up for this race, the transitions are going to handicap you a little bit. The transition was probably about maybe a third of a mile to go from the water to your bike. Just something to consider, but it's not terribly bad. There are still some pretty fast transitions of the day. 2 minutes would probably be considered an acceptably fast transition. Anyway, after underperforming on the swim, I knew I had to make up on it on the bike.
Go Josh! Have a good ride!
So, as soon as I biked out of the park, I just started hammering. I was frigid. I was so cold. The air temperature was still in the 50s, and I was soaking wet. But once we got about 5 miles out from the transition area, it was open road, man. It was just one loop around the good old city of Memphis. 56 miles of rolling hills. It was a very, very rolly, wavy course. You know, I'm so wavy, I'm so wavy. 2 hours and 30 minutes and some change later, I came rolling in after the 56-mile bike ride. And unfortunately, I lollygagged again. Just took my sweet old time in transition, putting my shoes on, posing for some pictures before I actually headed out. That transition should have been faster than 5 minutes. And then we hit my specialty, the run. But obviously, after 56 miles of biking and a little over a mile of swimming, my legs were a little stiff when I started out.
Right. Doing good, Josh. You got a shot at your time.
Got about a 6:50 pace going here, so.
Good job. Keep it up.
And the run course was fantastic. It was a 2-lap course around the entire park. So you started with about a 3-mile loop around the lake we swam at, and then you would go into the forest for a little bit of hill running. And the spectators were amazing. There were so many people out there. There was even Mario and Luigi with their power-up buttons. It was like Mario Kart out there. I don't know what it was about those guys, but those guys worked better than Gel and Coke. I saw the power-up sign, I hit the star, and I felt invincible for maybe 5 seconds. We're halfway there.
Yeah. Good job. Keep going. Keep it up.
I held that 6:50 pace for maybe the first 8.5 miles, and once I got to about the hour marker, I wasn't completely hitting the wall, but I could tell something was coming on. For the next 4.5 miles, I held about a 7:30 pace, and we finished the run in an hour 34. With that finish, I completed the entire half Ironman, 70.3 miles, in 4 hours, 51 minutes, and 21 seconds. That finish time got me a 3rd place overall finish in my age group. For any male that was competing that day from the ages of 25 to 29, I was the 3rd fastest in our group. So we got it done. 3rd place for our age category, 25 to 29, with a final time of 4 hours, 51 minutes, and 21 seconds. And that qualified us for the World Championships in Finland in August 2023. So, to be continued. And then after the race, we celebrated with a trip to Nashville. We checked out the Country Music Hall of Fame and the Ryman Museum. If you guys are into history and you guys are into music, I highly recommend you check out these 2 historical landmarks of the city of Nashville. And we also got to scooter around the Nissan Titan Stadium, which was pretty legit. The night we got those birds to go around the stadium, there's an Elton John concert getting ready to play. So, if only we had known, it would have been a cool thing to do that night. Just remember, everyone, don't text and drive, film and drive.
or talk and drive.
Overall, the trip to Memphis was great, the Nashville was great, and our race was great. So, check out the St. Jude Hero Program. There's nothing more rewarding than raising money for children that have cancer and making sure that they do not have a medical bill for the rest of their life. It's a good cause and it's worth supporting. So, I'm going to leave their link in the description down below if you guys want to donate to St. Jude. Shout out to VELOHANA for getting us to our personal best in the Ironman 70.3. Check out their links in the description down below. And other than that, please like the video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel if you like the theme. And click that notification button so you can see some of the other content coming out. We've got some great stuff about ready to be posted, and we're excited to share it with you. With that said, take it easy, everyone.